Yes, there is a Portuguese journalist currently in Donetsk. He's the only Portuguese journalist there. He's an independent freelancer, but he managed to sell a piece to Portuguese CNN, and and he gives account of the shelling in civilian areas, but it has very low visibility, I must say. It's not on,
Hmm.
but at least it is something. And what, in what way, in these recent days, the shelling has increased? How many fold can you describe? Or and do they look for any specific targets? Are they shelling?
Yes,
Okay,
I can tell you that recently, like say in the last 2 or 3 weeks, the shelling of the center of Donetsk, civilian targets, has increased. I think maybe 3 days ago, in one day, there were over 700, oh no, excuse me, 300 ballistic missiles and heavy artillery shells, 152, 155 artillery shells. I mean, in these 155s, which are provided by NATO to the Ukrainian Nazi war criminals, or the 152s that they had before from the Soviet army. I mean, one shell will blow a hole in a parking lot that you can park, two cars in. I'll put it that way. If
okay.
it hits a house, you know, the whole house is gone. If it hits an apartment building, it'll blow three stories off that apartment.
Do you
Off that
think?
apartment
Do you
building.
do you
And
think? Just sorry to interrupt. Just to get it clear, do you think it could be misfiring in any way,
no,
or
no, it's absolutely impossible. But I'll tell you why, bro. Because on May, excuse me, hold on. On May the 30th, which is traditionally the last day of school for Russian schools, the schools here in Donetsk, at 12:30 in the afternoon at lunchtime, which is traditionally when they have on the last day of school, they have a celebration called Last Bell, and it's where the whole family comes, the students, everybody's dressed up in their best clothes. They bring flowers to the teachers. They have like songs and dances and read poems and give awards and all this stuff. And at 12:30 at 12:30 in the afternoon on the 30th of May, three schools got hit simultaneously
shit?
with heavy 152 artillery, 155, and it was. I mean, and the ceremonies had been canceled specifically because of the danger of shelling, but the Ukrops didn't know that. The Ukrainian army didn't know that, and they shelled thinking that there were going to be hundreds of people at these three different schools. And I mean, they hit them with pinpoint accuracy. I mean, I just finished writing an article about it recently, and I can even send you some pictures. But I mean,
Okay,
they literally hit like the front door of one school. A separate school, there was an assembly area behind the school, and they hit the center of that. The third was the gymnasium, or like a special science academy, and again they hit right on the front door. I mean, so there's no question. I mean, when you hit three schools all at the same time, right on the front door,
okay.
it wasn't like, oh, it was 100 meters away. I mean, it was literally on the front door. I mean, so in three schools at the same time, there's no chance that that's random. And I'll tell you something else. A week later, uh, June 6th, they hit five schools. No, excuse me, six schools in one attack. And I can send you, I can send you the map of it. And
Yes.
in this one attack in central Donetsk, six schools were hit, in less than an hour. So there's zero chance that they're, and they do randomly shell the civilian areas. Yes, they do. But these attacks, these two specific attacks I'm telling you about, were definitely targeted and intentional terrorist attacks by the U.S. backed Nazi Ukrainian army. And there's been plenty of outdoor markets. They have markets here in Donetsk, like they have in Europe and like in Mexico and stuff, you know, where it's not like a big grocery store. It's just a big area, and everybody has stalls and they sell fruit or clothes or whatever. And several, I mean, like, you know, a dozen of those markets, you know, which are huge markets that are always packed with people, have been hit. There's, you know, in my house in Petrovsky district, there's 4 markets within maybe 3 kilometers of my house. Markets that my wife and I shop at, you know, on a daily basis, you know, that have been directly hit, targeted as well. And there's no military around. I mean, it's just civilian areas. These are terrorist attacks by the U.S.-backed Ukrainian army.